that's not how it works in local government. And we can't carry out a consultation process after the date at which the final settlement is given to us, simply because we are required to finalise in too short a time period after that date. So what we have in front of us is our best endeavours with what we know, but what we know may change. So that's the first thing that I wanted to make clear to everybody in the audience. And the second is, we've talked about, Councillor Johnson has talked about the amount of money we've lost from the government. Our ability to spend is based on government grant and council tax. Council tax, we are proposing increasing by 4.9%, which is what the government expects us to increase it by. If we wanted to increase it further, we would have to go to referendum. If we chose to increase it by a lower amount, we would have to cut more services. So that's the situation we are in. The loss of the rural services delivery grants, again, Councillor Johnson mentioned as being just over £1 million, is more than 10% of the total grant that the government gives us. So we had based our budget, we'd worked the budget out during the autumn of last year, thought we'd got to a reasonable position by end of November, beginning of December, and then suddenly out of the blue, in order to fund what the government is calling a recovery grant, amongst other things, they told us we'd get no more rural services delivery grant. And taking out more than 10% of a budget that you just spent a lot of blood, sweat and tears putting together because the overall funding is reduced anyway, has not been an easy process. But nevertheless, we did it. The recovery grant is the grant that the government has developed in order to fund largely urban authorities, and that's because they feel that urban authorities are suffering more than we are. That is a moot point, and we do argue it. We work with other rural councils to make that point. And when you read the headlines, when the public read the headlines that, oh, your core spending power has gone up by X or Y%, that doesn't actually apply to Rutland at all. Rutland's core spending power has gone up at a lower rate than inflation. So setting budget isn't an easy process. And I would like to reiterate and expand on what Councillor Ellison has said. I'd like to thank all the officers for all their hard work, creating a budget that we can live with, and giving us as members genuine options as well. And it's much easier when you are having to reduce the size of your budget for officers to just say, well, this is all we can do. And they haven't. They've given us options, and it's all credit to their professionalism, their hard work, every single one of them, not just the directors who are sitting with us, but their colleagues below directorate level. So can I thank you, everybody in the team. Thank you. And also my colleagues on Cabinet, because it has not been an easy process for us. And I will admit, we have argued toss a few times during these few months as we've been going through this. And will continue, because if the final settlement comes out worse for us than the indicative position, then we are going to have to look for more cuts again. And none of us want to do that. So that's all I want to say on the budget. Thank you.